Hey YouTube, so figured I would convert some video to use to edit from my HDZero goggles, and why not make a video? Why not do a live stream? I've never done that before. So here we go, let's try something new. So HDZero goggles, let me have them around here somewhere. I don't know where they are. Oh well, we've seen them before. Let's pull up the website. HDZero goggles. So these are the ones we're talking about right here. So these guys, they have two ways you can save files. You can save your video in a .ts or a .mp4. mp4, everybody that does any video editing knows about that. The problem with that type of video is if you have some type of sudden loss, your video files, they get screwed up. So .ts, you can pull the power, you can have your video just drop out for whatever reason, your battery's down, your drone, your quad, whatever, and they're still good to go, and it's still in HD quality. So it's, in my opinion, best to store the files in that .ts file. So you end up with some files. Let's see, where did I save those? Ice fishing. Yep, here it is. So if we look at the details of these, we'll see that they're all in TS video format. Show file name extensions. There we go. So see how they end in .ts. So if we go from .ts to mp4, it'd be great if they just worked in like DaVinci, right? The problem is you try to drop them in here, import them, and it just doesn't work because it doesn't know about that encoding scheme, is what it's called. So there's a couple of ways I found to do it. One is VLC. So VLC is free open source, so you can go out there and go to just VLC, see videoland.org, and from there you can download it. Runs on just about every platform imaginable. It's free, you can donate to them. So we'll start with that. So I've got those files, I want to convert them. So we will go to media and then convert. And then we'll add, and it's on the desktop, ice fishing. And I'm just going to do these two, and then I'll save the other two for the other way. So I've got these two in here, and now you click Convert Save, which will open up that it's got multiple files selected, and you can either display the output or just put them into where you want them to go. I like to do the add-converted so it's easy to see which ones you've converted. And then you start, and here you can see the timer is going up, or the clock. I don't know. The play is playing it through basically. And you can see it's playing it through faster than normal speed. That's one reason I like it to not show display, because I think when you click display it while it converts it, you have to sit there through the whole thing. And I would rather not sit through the whole thing. So the other one we're going to do is Handbrake. Oh, great. So I just installed Handbrake, so apparently you have to download some more software to use it, which it just downloaded. Install this. All right, now we should be able to run Handbrake. Fingers crossed. There we go. Let's do the drag and drop thing on this one. Okay, so you can see it's converted the first one. This is now at mp4, so it's working on that one. So now let's drag these two over there. Drop them in. And you can see that format is already mp4. Most of this stuff you can just keep the same as it is, and it's going to save it into the same place. And when it's done, do nothing. So then you just click Start Encode. And let's see what the CPU is doing while we're doing all this, and the GPU. So I've actually got a pretty nice laptop on here. It's got two CUDA cores. So there, it's an NVIDIA graphics card. And you can see the two GPU cores. They're getting a little bit of work, not too much. And the CPU is just hammered. But why not do two things at the same time? They can handle it. Hopefully everybody's getting all this. Never done this streaming stuff, live streaming, so let me know in the comments if you're seeing any of this and if you have any tips for me, because I'm always in need of good tips. All right, so you can see the progress bar on this one. Let's pull VLC back up. Looks like it's almost done. Notice it's slowed down substantially. So before it was kind of ripping right through it. Now that I'm doing another application that's doing the transcoding from TS into mp4, it's slowed down a lot. So I would imagine once this is done, going from you know, start to finish here in just a little bit, I would imagine Handbrake would speed up substantially. But I think I like Handbrake better just because it seems to be a little more descriptive of what it's doing. Like VLC, you don't get much feedback. It's just like, you know, here you go. Oh, there's something else. I guess it wasn't finished with that first one, so now it's doing the second file. So that first file, it was still filling it up with data when we first looked at it. Oh, that's interesting too. So the TS video file is 785 megabytes, whereas the transcoded converted MPEG-4 is quite a bit smaller, 597 megabytes. So MPEG-4 probably is a little bit more compression. Still high definition, but it's using some compression. So see, that's some of the stuff I like about Handbrake is, if you look here, it's giving you a little bit more, all these tabs, you can set up a lot more. Like look at this, quality, you could sit here and change the quality. It just gives you a lot more dials to change all of your audio and video settings than VLC does. And I haven't ever seen anyone using Handbrake for converting any of these .ts files. So I thought it might be good to have a kind of new video here for 2024 that shows some of the ways to do this. HDZero is growing in popularity, and I can see why. Actually, what I'm going to do when I finish making these transcoded videos is I'm going to make a video comparing what you get with video quality with analog versus HDZero, because most of the streams and most of the videos that I've found just talk about HDZero being kind of like a HD version of analog. Well, what does that mean? Like, I haven't seen anyone go through the comparison actually kind of side by side showing the video. And I went ice fishing last weekend, and while I was out on the lake, I took a couple of drones with me, and one of them was analog and one of them was HDZero. I'll actually go get those. So the analog one is this Recon 35, and it's unique in that it flies using lithium ion batteries. And I took them all out and put them in another room to store them. So I don't have any of those, but it's the way people that haven't heard of those, they're the 18650 is what they're called for batteries. And I don't know if you saw that Handbrake did finish. Looked like it did speed up a little bit. So sometimes I'll tell people they're what a lot of the vapors use to put in their vape cigarettes or whatever you call it, vaporizers. But they pack a lot of power into a round cell that's a little bit bigger than a AA battery, quite a bit bigger. The 18650 is actually the size in millimeters, so they're 18 millimeters across and 650 millimeters long. So 18650 is where that comes from. There's more that keep getting bigger, 21700, and then there's the new ones that Elon Musk is making to put in his Teslas. So all they do is they take the lithium material, spread it out like peanut butter on a, it's not quite like a piece of plastic, but think of fruit roll-ups, and then they just roll it up, and then it's transferring all of that energy through that fruit roll-up plastic, that cellophane type stuff. So anyway, not a lot of power, but they fly for a lot longer because the voltage can go quite a bit lower. So on a lithium polymer battery, this is a one cell lithium polymer battery, you can fly it down, so 4.2 volts fully charged down to about 3.5. If you go too much lower than that and it doesn't come back up to 3.5, you're going to mess it up usually. The lithium ion batteries, you can go down to like 2.8, 2.6. Sometimes your electronics quit working when you get too low though. So this is the HDZero drone that I was flying out on the ice fishing lake. And it's also like analog. There's a lot of things, like people have said, there's no latency penalty like you have with DJI, where it kind of is a two-way street where, hey, I didn't get these pieces of the image in. Can you send them back? And then your drone will send it back. And it's still flying, by the way, while it's doing that. So that's why sometimes there's a lag from where your drone is that you're flying to where you're seeing it in your goggles or on your iPhone or whatever you're flying it with. And it can get dangerous if you fly real close to things, because you may have ran into something before you see that you're about to run into it. Whereas with HDZero and analog, what you see is pretty much what you get. There's the latency of the speed of light of the video transmission coming out of this antenna, getting to your goggles, and then showing on the display. So, you know, light enters in here, gets converted to electron beams that go across to your goggles, gets converted back to video signal, and you're watching it. Much faster, and it's one way. So that's another thing about HDZero. There's no, hey, I missed these bits. So what happens is you'll get sparkles, but I'll do a video on that. So I'm not going to talk about that here today. This is all about converting files to mp4. So we've got both of them. Let's go look at our directory. So we've got, oh, I was just there, done. Okay, so now we have the two that it added converted for the first one. And you can see the file size difference. We went from 785 to 595, and we went from 416 to 45 meg. Look at that. That is quite a bit of a change. And then this is the handbrake. Well, where's my handbrake changes? Where did it save those? Hey, Mr. Handbrake. Save as recon35.mpeg4. Users, Hayes, videos. Is that where I am? Nope, that's not where I am. So, users, Hayes, videos. There we go. Okay, so check this out. It actually combined them because I had two selected, so I guess that's a difference between VLC and Handbrake as well, is if you select multiple in Handbrake, it's going to create one video file and just put both of them in that. So 286 megabytes versus wow, 1.6 gig and almost a gig. So, well, that's pretty neat. So VLC, you get a smaller file, and Handbrake, you get a bigger file. Oh no, you get a much smaller file, sorry. You get a much smaller file. So 286 megabytes versus almost, well, more than 2.5 gigs, or right around 2.5 gigs. So they both get it quite a bit smaller. I'm sure, you know, you're dealing with defaults, and that's what you can change, but it looks like you can change quite a bit more with Handbrake. So anyway, that's what I wanted to do. Hopefully, looks like YouTube stopped my stream for some reason.